fell in love with words really early on in my life, and I fell in love with not just reading words but writing words. And I just remember as a child just forever writing, I think just rambling without any sort of purpose, but the idea of writing always felt really powerful to me.
I was 15, I think, 14, when my grandfather gave me the complete works of Shakespeare and said, sit, read, and then we'll talk. And I think that was the first thing that got me involved.
I think one of my saving graces was that when I went to my secondary school, somehow within me there was an element of this show off, I guess. You know, an introvert who is dying to be an extrovert. The way Mad About the Boy ended up landing here was in this space yet to be defined and finished, which is quite really exciting, I think.
Well, it is my first piece of theatre as a filmmaker. It's an interesting way of going, because I think a lot of film directors have come from theatre, but you don't necessarily hear of film directors that go into theatre having made film.
Because I've done a lot of work with live theatre in Newcastle. This feels like the London version of that theatre. You know, it's all about new writing. It knows what it's doing. It wears its heart on its sleeve. And for me, that's a really brilliant progression in that, you know, I'm still within the comfort zone of that kind of world I'm used to, but at the same time, it's a step up.
I think something happens on stage with new writing. I think there's a moment of communion between the audience and the performers on stage. We have such an intimate building here at the Bush that shared experience, the pertinent questions that these plays ask, demand that the audience engage in it.
If I had anything to say about the things that I write and why I write them, I think that probably I just wouldn't write, because I'd be able to say everything that I wanted to say about everything in words that didn't need to be put into a theatrical or poetical form.
For me, my kind of mission to develop here at the Bush is that whole strand of what is alternative ways of writing plays, of making theatre, that haven't been explored into the realm of new writing, and how can we give them a voice in a venue that is known and reputed for new writing.
Madani being a new voice now in British theatre, I feel very honoured to be one of the first productions in the new Bush.
Edward Bond, the dramatist, once said to me, "You should never leave theatre feeling satisfied." And for me, that's probably the most powerful thing about new writing. I don't think you come to the Bush because you want a hug. I think you come to the Bush because you want to be provoked.